Yo, what's up? A lot of smartphones in 2019, but nothing so far has excited me to the level up to which this new smartphone has done it. It's the Zenfone 6 from Asus. That phone has a camera which is again a flip out camera, just like many other smartphone manufacturers have already done, but this thing has a twist, or rather a flip to it. The rear cameras, they flip open on the outside like this. They don't slide or they don't flip inside, but they flip from the outside. I'm sure you have seen the videos already. This phone's gotten me even more excited and hyped for it than the OnePlus 7 Pro, which I just praised a couple of days ago. And there are two main reasons for that. First of all, the camera mechanism, it closely resembles the damn near perfect mechanism which was on the original Oppo N3. If you remember, they were the first people to make these rotating cameras where the rear camera acts as the front camera by flipping to the front using a motor. While having motors in your phone is not the best idea, it definitely is very cool because you can entirely avoid the question of where to keep the front camera and avoid cutting holes in the display like Samsung is having to do with the S10 if you have a camera that flips around. Come to think of it, Oppo had a very good chance of making this happen once again with the Find X. You remember that phone had the entire front and the rear grille was hidden on the display and it would just pop out. They would have made something similar because anyway their front and rear cameras were hidden until the point of need. Instead of keeping a separate sensor for the front camera, they could have used the rear camera itself. Because after all, the rear camera is the best camera on almost every single smartphone, mainly because of the physical size. And following up on that first reason of excitement, the outer swing of this camera allows it to have a couple of more unique features which no other rotating camera phone or pop-out camera phone in the market can do, like panoramas for example. You can take stellar panoramas just by holding the phone in the flashlight mode and the camera just flips all the way from back end all the way to the front, so you don't have to do anything and you'll still get an entire long panorama with nearly perfect stitching without your excessive hand movements. That's so amazing. Why didn't people think of this before? Just like with the Oppo N3, the Zenfone 6 has a free angle mode where you can just keep the camera at any angle you want and have it record at the same time. I mean, the movement is a little bit jerky as I saw from the sample footage. Like, you can definitely tell when the camera is moving and stopping from the phone, but it's really cool regardless. No other phone in the world right now can let you take shots the way you can take them on the Zenfone 6. And that camera is no joke, which brings me to the second part of why I'm super excited for this phone, the specs. 5000 milliamp hour battery, which is very important because you will be using the camera on this phone a lot, and that camera itself is a 48 megapixel sensor, which is very similar to what's on the OnePlus 7 already, and another 13 megapixel wide angle sensor, which is fantastic, so you can have wide angle on the front as well. As expected, it's rocking the latest CPU from Qualcomm. It's the Snapdragon 855, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 GB storage, and it's quite a lot cheaper than the OnePlus 7 Pro, which is just a cherry on top. Official price that I have heard of from different websites and blogs is 499 euros, which is I think approximately 35,000 rupees. 35,000 rupees is a great value for that kind of hardware. I mean, that used to be OnePlus's flagship killer territory, and now they have comfortably switched over to 45k, 50k territory, which was not a very good move in my opinion, because there is absolutely no difference between a fully fledged flagship and this so-called flagship killer now. That's a whole different rant. Let's save it for another day. But the Zenfone 6, it's truly the flagship killer for 2019. That flip-out camera with its wonderful image quality, that 5000 mAh battery, a beautiful body, fast charging support, latest and greatest internals. What more do you want? I don't think that this phone is sacrificing anything, or at least that's how it looks like on the surface. But as of now, this is the best phone unveiled in 2019. I'm more excited for it than I was for the OnePlus 7 Pro. You may not get it. For people like me who's always recording videos on their phones, having that kind of a free movement on their phone's camera sensor itself, it would make an amazing difference. I could be using the rear camera right now instead of using the front camera and then using a bunch of lights to compensate for the lesser quality. Oh man. I mean, I have been in this smartphone news and blogging thing for a very long time now. I have seen so nothing really in the market really gets me that excited, because it's quite common for me to see a great phone and then just report news on it. But this thing, this thing is really, really something that I want in my pocket. Well, okay then, that's it. It's a quick little video on why you should be hyped for the Zenfone 6 and why I'm hyped for the Zenfone 6. I kind of lost my voice because I had to walk back from the market to my room and it was raining, so I just walked like it's not a big thing. And now if you're a tech nerd like me, you'll find some more cool articles and other blogs and reviews written over at my tech blog dopetechfever.com, links in the description. And with that, I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, okay, that didn't. I'm not keeping these lights like this for the sake of the video. There's been a power cut from the past 2 hours due to thunderstorms. So I have no lights in the room except that and that. Got some street food with me on the way. It'll probably give me an upset stomach tomorrow, but thank God it's Friday.